went over my parents, so I don't have to do that. My siblings, my little brother was here. Naji, you can stand up. This is the next to oldest. His name is Derek. He currently goes to Louisiana State University. This is my sister, Sashay, who is my mother and stepfather's daughter. She goes to the University of Southern Indiana. This is my sister, Jessica. She lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And this is my baby sister, J.S., and she's from Anderson, Indiana. She is very, very smart. Makes straight A's all the time. She's never made a B in her life, so we're definitely looking out for her to do big things when she gets to the college level. My high school, I went to Highland High School, which is kind of similar to Bradley in the demographic area, or region rather. I played varsity basketball for 4 years. I scored over 1,000 points in my basketball career. I could have went and played basketball at a Division I college, but my senior year I was kicked off the basketball team. And take that in consideration, I scored 1,000 points and I still got kicked off the team. But I mean, God's glory, and God still blessed me to be here at Bradley University, and I'm definitely thankful to be here again. I came here as a mechanical engineering major. I scratched my ear because I changed that really quickly. Changed that to accounting. I couldn't pass Cal-2, which it was very difficult at the time for me. I'm into math, so I don't know why I couldn't pass it, but I just couldn't pass Calculus 2. But I changed my major to accounting, and during that time when I changed my major to accounting, I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Got bros in the back. This was one of the biggest steps of my life in becoming a man. I definitely developed a bond and a brotherhood between a lot of individuals who I never met before, and even still I'm developing bonds. I'm meeting new people. We have other Greeks in here who are doing the same thing, and I definitely appreciate the opportunity to become Greek. One of the things that I can proudly say I was a part of, raising money for the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial Foundation. My chapter, Epsilon Kappa, did countless hours of collecting money to donate to the Martin Luther King Foundation. As you can see, it's a lot of black and gold down there. That's my fraternity's colors. That's the actual monument that's still being worked on, which is in Washington, D.C. It was supposed to be a dedication a few weeks back, but due to weather, they had to postpone it to a later date in October. So we're still looking forward to that. I get this question all the time. You're an accounting major, but you wrote a book about commitment? And a lot of people are like, why did you write a book about accounting? Why did you write a book about math? And it's like, I have a gift that keeps on giving. Accounting is something that I can do any point in time. I like to do this. This is in my heart. I started writing when I was in the 3rd grade. I started writing poetry when I was in the 3rd grade. I had a crush, and she got me in some trouble, so I ain't gonna go into it. But really, what really made me want to pursue my writing even further is Miss Jacqueline Hogan. I took her class my junior year. It was a sociology class. Like, she's a sociology professor. I actually took it as a general elective course just to get some extra credit and get my GPA up. We basically studied gender, and the thing about it is we studied how different cultures view gender and how we as Americans view gender. And I learned so much stuff, and from there I started doing different things like sending out motivational text messages. This class actually inspired me to start doing that because it made me realize that people are lost, and it's not because they don't know, it's because they don't want to learn. And I took it upon myself to help people get to that point to where they could learn and give them some of the stuff that God has blessed me with. And I definitely thank Miss Jacqueline Hogan for letting me be in her class, because actually I wasn't even supposed to be in there, but she let me come in. She was supposed to come today, but she didn't. Another person who helped inspire my book is Kevin Stein. He's an English professor here. He's also the poet laureate of Illinois. I went into his office very humbly, like, man, I'm writing this book, please help me. And immediately he just grabbed to me. And it's interesting because he's a native of my city, Anderson, Indiana. He was born and raised there, which is interesting because it's a small city. And we both came to Bradley University. He's a professor and I'm a student. And for us to make that connection, it's just God, ultimately. What really inspired me about him is that he opened himself up. He's a New York Times bestseller author. He didn't have to help me out at all, but he did. He was here earlier, but he left. But I definitely appreciate him. Many of you all know Dante Henderson. Dante helped me kind of lay out the format for my book. He's the author of the Things I Learned While Walking. He definitely gave me a lot of pointers, what to look for, make sure nobody was trying to con me, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate him. He couldn't make it today. He'll be here to celebrate with me in a few weeks. So the publishing company I chose to go with is iUniverse. It's a self-publishing company. Basically what that means is you do everything by yourself. I had to do editing by myself. I had to format the book by myself. I designed the cover by myself. I contacted a marketing consultant who is T.R.U.T.H by myself. But I mean, the thing about them is it was affordable. It was something that I wanted to do, so I definitely went with them. If it wasn't for this company, I wouldn't be standing here, so I definitely appreciate them for accepting my project. Carissa Hodges is my marketing consultant, I can say that, my friend, my soror. She's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I actually met her through Twitter. A lot of people in here know how much I used to hate Twitter. I used to be a Facebook fanatic and I was like, I'm never gonna go to Twitter. Twitter is for whatever, I don't wanna do that. But I set up Twitter and she was in my suggested follows list because I started following motivational speakers and people like that. Her name came up and I clicked on it, seeing some of her tweets, and it's like, wow, maybe I should consider following her. So I'm gonna tell you this now. If you are not following her, pull your phone out, follow at Carissa right now. She goes in all day, every day. This is just a slide of some of the media that I've been in. I've been on with the Minister of Motivation. I've been on Urban Shake. I've been on Jubilee Magazine. I've been in the Bradley Scout. I've been in the Traveler. I've been on Power 92.3. I've been on WQME 98.7, which is my hometown radio station. I've been in the Herald Bulletin, which is also my home newspaper. And PraiseHouse.com, which is an online radio show. And they also play gospel music, so some of the stuff you might want to check out. I have some of the articles on the back table. The Truth Behind the Lie, The Road to Commitment. People always ask me, how did I come up with the title for my book? I didn't like sit down and really think about it. It just kind of came to me after I started writing. And I thank God for blessing me with this title because it means so much. Until you find God, who is the truth, you will always live behind a lie, which is your own life. You gotta submit yourself to God in order to get to the truth. And doing that is a road, and it takes commitment. So that's why I came up with that. Let that soak in, and I can use that. I dedicated my book to my grandmother. I apologize, but I tell myself I wasn't gonna cry, but my grandma was my life, man. She was my rock. She was everything to me. And I'm not sad anymore, I'm happy. And I thank God for giving me a woman like that to help guide me and make me a better person. I was gonna read the dedication, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it, so I'll go on past that. One of my favorite Bible quotes, 1 Timothy 6:10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." That's what I based my book on. A young man who was so infatuated with the idea of having money and its connection to power or a lifestyle. And I'm here to tell you that money doesn't give you anything but the idea of value and a dollar sign. That's all it is. Money is nothing but an idea and a value of a dollar sign. But people chase it instead of chasing God as if they're gonna get something out of it. And God can give you much more than money. God can give you much more than money can buy. God can give you anything you set your mind to as long as you use God for the right reasons. My main character, Avell Knight, he started off in a poor home. His mother worked multiple jobs to kind of give him the opportunity to grow up and grow into a man. And in doing that, he kind of had to take on responsibilities of the house, like many people do nowadays. And since he didn't have anything, he was able to see people who actually had things and had material possessions. And in doing that, it kind of threw him off his curve and devalued himself, made him kind of put more stock into material possessions and things like that. And that's not the way that God wants us to live. He wants us to honor him and let other things come to us due to him blessing us. So he definitely ran into some struggles and some obstacles as a result. One of my favorite quotes in general is, "My self-worth is not equal to the amount of money I have access to." And basically what that means to me is that no matter how much money you have, it doesn't determine how happy you can be. It doesn't determine how much joy you can have. It doesn't even determine how much power you can have. Because God is almighty and he can establish any power over any money on any given day. So don't equate yourself to a dollar sign, because a dollar is something that can easily fade away, can easily be burned, can easily be torn. I got dollars in my pocket that's going to go out the door paying bills, but God is still going to be here standing next to me when my money is gone. So I'm still going to be worth something because I have God. So keep that in mind. This is another verse that I really like. 1 Timothy 6:9. People who want to get rich fall into temptations, a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge men into ruin and destruction. With my main character, Avell Knight, he kind of went down this road because he fell in love with the idea of being rich. And that kind of, again, put him in a situation to where he had to forfeit a lot of his values. Whenever you place your commitment to something perishable, all of the important things in your life kind of take a back step. And when you do that, then nothing really matters to you anymore. And when that happens, you try to find stuff to fit into. You try to be a dancer even though you're not a dancer. Try to be a musician even though you're not a musician. You try to be a speaker even though you're not a speaker. You try to play sports even though you're not athletic. This is called a puzzle of life, and you have to find your perfect place in life. You have to fit into what makes you happy. Again, money isn't gonna do it, but I thought coming to Bradley that I definitely would be able to amass a lot of money and I would be happy. That's why I came here as an engineering major, seeing that an engineer can make $90,000 a year in the first year, come on, man, who wouldn't want to do that? But it's just a matter of, is that gonna make me happy? Is that what God wants for me? I found my spot, and I hope that you can find your place as well. This is probably my most favorite thing in my book. It's the VEGE acronym, VEGE. The V stands for values. In order for anything in life to actually work, you have to take yourself and understand what your values are. If you, excuse me, if your values aren't in line with what you want to do, including a romantic relationship, it's not going to work. If your values, if your favorite color is red, her favorite color is purple, it kind of works. But if her favorite color is black and your favorite color is white, I mean, that's kind of some differences. And that's a general statement, but values are much bigger than that. Anything from religion to what is right in your mind, and that's something that's valuable to you. So you definitely have to have that synced in and linked in. Expectations. Expectations are things that are likely to happen in the future. It's not necessarily saying that in 5 years we're going to do this, in 2 years do this, but it is saying that I have the idea that in 5 years we'll be here. Because say that in 5 years you want to get married, in 2 years she's thinking about leaving you. That's not going to work out. Goals. Goals are very important. In life in general, just setting goals and reaching your goals gives you a commitment to do better and become a better person. One of the quotes up here is, failing to plan is planning to fail. If you don't plan, you're going to fail. And planning is a part of goal setting. Goal setting isn't a perfect thing. It's not something that's going to be perfect. We aren't perfect people, so you may set a goal for 5 years and it may take you 7 years to get it, but you're still trying to get there, adding value to your life and to your relationships. Expressions. When people think about expressions, they often think about the smile or the frown or something like that, a facial expression. While that's built in, that's not the only thing. Communication is an expression. The way you respond to somebody is an expression. If someone says, you know, you're beautiful, and you shun them off, you know, that's a part of an expression to them. And it's just important to link all these things together in order for your relationships and endeavors in life to really work out and be successful. Speaking of success, this triangle is called the weight of success. I like to call it peace, love, and soul. Whenever I tweet or whenever I put up a Facebook status, I often use this as a way to nail in what I'm trying to say to people. Peace. Anything you do, you have to be at peace with yourself while you're doing it, or you're not going to enjoy doing it. If you're not at peace, you're going to push it to the wayside. You're going to put it on the back burner. It's not going to be important to you. You have to love what you do. If you don't love it, it's not going to matter to you. Soul is, in my eyes, is similar to the spirit, and that is the connection that you share with God. And if that's in line, then you're definitely going to be successful. There's been a lot of things I've been able to do because of my success with this book. I've traveled around to many states and done similar events to this. I've spoken at many events. I volunteered. People called me and asked me to do things. One of the things that some of you may not know is that we are writing the screenplay for The Truth Behind the Lie to become a movie. We're aiming to release that in fall 2012. So God has blessed me and put me in a position to actually work with a lot of people on this project, so I don't have to do a lot of the writing, and I'm thankful for that. I just look it over and we approve it and we pass it on. So I'm thankful that God has put this in my life and God has let me do this. Not a lot of people get to make a movie and to make a movie about a book that they wrote, so I thank God for that. My book is on a lot of websites. I put a couple up here, some of the most notable ones. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Even though Borders is going out of business, their online website is still available. Books on Boards, which is an electronic bookstore. And I say that because I have an electronic copy of my